Welcome to another episode of the Sawdust Nation podcast with your hosts with the most, Josh from North Country Woodworking, Nap from Nap's Naughty Works LLC, and myself, Nick from NPG Creations. This is the big 8-7. So for those of you who have been along for the entire ride, thank you. And if you're just picking up, we love to talk shop. But what enables us to talk shop is our sponsors. So we want to thank PWNCNC for their continued support. Check them out on the web at pwncnc.com for 5% off your order. Use promo code SAWDUSTNATION981. That's because we like to keep things simple. And Totalboat. Totalboat epoxy is the epoxy you should be using. Check them out on the web, totalboat.com. And if you want a 10% off promo code, go ahead and hit us up in our DMs at the Sawdust Nation podcast on Instagram. And these two knuckleheads are doing some dumb stuff over here. I don't know what's going on, but I'm going to kick it to one of them to see what's going on in their shops this week. We're going to wait. Actually, we're going to put Josh last this time because he's got some. I know he wants to talk about Workbench Con. So I'm going to kick it over to Nap real quick. What do you got going on in your shop there, Nap?
You know, man, I talked about the lull last week. I feel like it's just going by super slow. Like, I don't have a whole lot. I'm picking up on, like, the little things that people said, like, hey, when you got time. I think a while back I talked about refinishing, like, a vanity or something like that. So I told the customer today, I was like, listen, I told you before, probably not going to happen on the refinish work because that is not real wood. And when it's not real wood, it's just not worth it.
Dude, that was like an IKEA piece. I saw it today.
It might as well have been. It was composite with the oak veneer out of all veneers. It couldn't even be walnut veneer. It was oak veneer. But I will say this. One of the legs was broken off in their move, which is why they wanted to get it repaired and refinished in some way, shape, or form. I told her, hey, listen, I got it standing on all four legs. I tightened down all the hardware. Everything's good. The back leg that was snapped off because the composite came loose, I took 2 pieces of oak. I took some Quick and Thick by Type-On, yours truly. And then I went ahead and used my Metabo, the pin nailer, and went boom, 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 boom on both blocks that I put on the inside there. Reset the hardware, put the leg on, and she's standing. So that vanity is now standing on all fours. It actually is better than what I found it.
Did we go over whether is Quick and Thick as strong as Type Bond 2 or 1?
I believe it is.
So a lot of the glue is, I think it's just set times at this point, right?
Yep,
like
pretty much.
We could maybe revisit that when Josh eventually finds it here. But either way, it worked out for what I needed it for. It's not like it's going to be used for, a cutting board or, something you're hanging on your wall or anything like that. It's just got some support, put some weight on it. Not really, just some makeup and some jewelry and stuff. So it shouldn't be too terrible.
I have a special assignment for Josh, by the way. While he's down at Workbench Con, he needs to approach the Type Bond folks and ask them in person, is Quick and Thick as strong?
Like, sir, for my podcast, is Quick and Thick as strong as Type Bond 2 or 3?
Oh, yeah, I gotta get a mic that I can carry with me. Just go around randomly. What, you got something to say? And see how many people actually talk to the mic that's not connected to anything.
Yo, that would actually be pretty funny. Hey, I'm from Sawdust Nation Podcast. Got any words?
You know what you do is you turn your body like you're looking at a camera while you're interviewing them. And like, no. Hey, into the camera.
I'm with Merca here at Workbench Con. Got any few words for me?
It's the government cameras that are spying on us. We're interviewing.
And that's how we got kicked out of the Workbench Con right there.
Make sure you wear your tinfoil hat. Sorry, Nap. Keep going.
No, you're good, man. That's fun. I think it's funny because that is kind of the theme for today is Workbench Con, and I can't wait to talk more about it. But yeah, Vanity's just sitting on. It's on all fours. I told her the stool that she had is pretty much hosed. What you got, Josh?
When you're ready, I got the information about Quick and Thick.
Do it now. Tell me about that thickness.
Glue is also designed to fill small gaps in wood joints. Traditional PVA glues can, in some situations, handle gaps up to 3 millimeters. But Quick and Thick will bridge gaps up to 1/32 of an inch and still form a strong bond.
Okay.
Alrighty then.
She's
so
thick,
squeezed a bunch,
and she's quick.
Squeezed a bunch of that in there. Yeah. Alrighty then. Just the way I like it. It ain't lady if it ain't 280.
So
but anyways.
the stool was hosed, huh?
Yeah, it's
I've had that problem before.
What?
My stool comes out hosed.
I bet. That's so the stool was bad though. Okay, and at the end of the day, whoever packed this thing, I hope it wasn't them, but I think they probably took it, threw it against the wall first, then wrapped it, and then put it and shoved it and kicked it into the moving van, and then brought it out because all the hardware broke away from the wood. What you got, Nick?
Just goes to show you, folks, be careful when you're packing your stool.
Stupid. But yeah, so anyways, it's beyond repair. I told her, she was like, listen, and honestly, we all know we do jobs that are like worth our while. That one's not worth my while, unfortunately. And I'm not going to go through the steps of redesigning a bracket, redesigning a piece that goes to it, and doing all this stuff because there's more to it than just saying, oh yeah, I can just cut this and it'll work. Like, no, it's not that simple. So I told her it's a no-go. And honestly, she might say, hey, you know what, I don't want it. And then I'll just go break it with a sledgehammer and throw it in my fire pit, which is probably not a good idea, but I might do it anyways. So that was that job today. I become a lasering fool these past few days, and we'll be continuing throughout the week. I finished finally. Sorry, Nick, you waited like months for this, but then again, like you said, we had months. So I finished the Security Forces Flash for Nick's podium project that will be underway, I'm sure, shortly. He's got a lot going on in his shop too, so I'll let him take that. But so I finished that. The hat stand is sitting over here on the table awaiting for pickup. I'm making a leather hat strap for my military training instructors out there. She asked if I could make one. I said, sure. So I'm making one of those. But I do have a bunch of glass I'm going to be etching. So my mom, yes, I'm actually mentioning my mom on the podcast. My mom was like, hey, so I show dogs, part of this dog showing community thing. And it's for a particular breed called Brussels Griffons, and they have like this special logo and all this stuff. She wants me to actually laser engrave a decanter with a silhouette of the dog, and then laser engrave some cups, and then send it on its way to them. And hopefully, at a marketing point here, they say, hey, we really love these. We want you to make more. And that'll be another potential business proposition down the road. But then I've got Nick over there because Nick's been super slammed, if you will, with his orders with the big chest he's got going on. I know he still has a lot to finish on that. Not a lot, but enough to finish tonight. I asked him kind of in a joking manner, hey, man, let me take those etchings for those half-gallon Arctic tumblers off your hands. Just kind of joking. He's like, you know what, Nap? That would actually help me out. So he ended up striking a deal with me, and I'm going to laser those for him, and we're going to send those on their way. So that'll be a fun little project with my new RotoBoss rotary. So I'm pretty excited to use that. And then I got a couple going away things to etch by Wednesday. So I might etch those tonight. But really, guys, the other stuff I got is in April. I did finally get the coveted orders or an assignment a little early, so I haven't got the official word yet. Well, for all my folks way, way up north, even maybe some of our Canadian friends, might see you around. Because I'm going to North Dakota. Minot, North Dakota. It's about as north as you can get other than New York. But yeah, I'm just, as far as Air Force bases are concerned. And so going up there to the tundra, scoping it out, a little worried of what the shop's going to look like. They got land out there. It's very blue collar from what I heard from a friend of mine. A lot of sawmills apparently, so I might not have an issue with finding lumber. So I'm pretty excited about that. But it's very cold there for a majority of the time, so I'm very curious to see how that's going to work out. Finding a house is definitely on the forefront of mine and my wife's mind. But yeah, that's about really it, though. I mean, just getting ready for this move. I'm shutting down shop now in May because June 15th is my new date that I'm leaving. That is an official date now, so yeah, there's that. So on that, Nick, what's going on in your shop, man?
Dude, my shop is like a bomb went off, and it never fails. No matter how many times you think you have all the hardware you need to finish a project, you're just like always stuck. You always find yourself like, man, I need one more screw. And it's not like I could just use any screws especially on this retirement trunk I'm working on. I'm using brass. So I mean, it would look kind of janky if I put, all brass screws in the hardware, and then I just put like one black one black one in there.
Well, come on. See if they even notice.
But other than that, so the trunk last night I flocked the inside of it. That's a big boy. That's I had to roll on the flock with a paint roller, like the adhesive, and then
no kidding.
Yeah, that's it covers that much space in that amount of time before it starts setting up. So I rolled it on there, got it not as even as I could, and then I refilled my flock shooter 3 times. it took 3 loads from the old flock shooter for me to get that trunk done. It's still.
I bet you was everywhere.
No, it wasn't actually. I got a little bit on the outfeed table, but to be honest with you, it's such a big trunk that if you stand in the center and you flock left and flock right, you're pretty much getting it. It's all encompassed inside. I don't know. It's like precision flocking. Anyway, but I started finishing. I did the lid is finished. It's got the shadow box done. If you check out my Instagram, well, I posted a picture of the top of the lid. I didn't post a picture of the inside, but you'll see here shortly. Once I'm complete, I'll post all these pictures of the entire project. But I used Rubio monocoat for the outside.
Nice.
Oh my gosh. The wood is so figured and iridescent that I was like, man, I have to post this, even though it's not complete. So, let's see here. I kind of, before I finished the trunk lid, I kind of put myself in a hard spot because I didn't realize how thick the lid was going to be. It's like a 5-inch thick lid.
Yeah, that's pretty heavy.
So, yeah, but that being said, I mean, the hardware will hold it up, but I was going to do the pass-through on my etching machine, my laser, and it wouldn't fit. So I was like, nah, I need to use your laser. Anyway, it's done. Just a lot of wasted time for driving around trying to, get stuff squared away. Last night I was working on the tray, and I ran out of plywood for the bottom of the tray, so I was like, son of a gun. So I had to...
It's always like that. You start a project, and you're about to finish up, and you're like, need that one thing. And I don't know how close like Lowe's or Home Depot are to you guys, but Nick, it's like a 30 to 40 minute drive to get to one here.
Well, I drove to Dakota Hardwoods today, which was different because I had to stop at the gas station to get gas, and I was like, shoot, I don't have my wallet, or I have my wallet, but I don't have my business card. And so yesterday I left it on the table at Applebee's. So I called the Applebee's, which was like 30 minutes in the wrong direction. And they're like, yeah, we have it. So I went and picked it up, and I shot over to Dakota Hardwoods. I got a load of red oak because, I hate red oak, but I need to use it for a project. I got a load of cherry, and I got Knapp his walnut. I also picked up some of that Baltic birch. I think it was like 3/8 inch Baltic birch. But and surprisingly, I pulled right up. So I called early, and they do will call, so you pretty much have your ticket ready to go. And I was in and out, lickety split. But other than that, though, real quick, three plaque job I did this weekend as well. In between different items. And we took that order for a large amount of weapons and tactics tumblers for the guys over at Fort Bliss. And that's pretty much it, man. I'm just like, I have a lot of work to do tonight before I go to bed because I have to get that trunk in like UPS tomorrow. So hopefully I'll be able to, like, fingers crossed. Hopefully, I know, knock on wood too, I'll be able to get out of work a little early tomorrow to go take care of that. But oh yeah, I also have to get bubble wrap for it, dude.
I got bubble wrap, bro. If you need bubble wrap,
you got enough to secure a trunk like that?
There's at least 100 feet
okay.
there.
All right. Well, regardless, I'll figure it out. I got to put like corner. No, that's not enough. That's not enough. I gotta get the big stuff, and I always
okay.
So I always wrap my stuff with the foam first, like that real thin foam stuff, and then I put the bubble wrap over top of it, and then I'll put corner protection or edge protection on, and then I'll put the box over top of everything. I'm expecting this box to weigh close to like 75, 80 pounds.
That's probably not too far from the truth there, bud.
It's gonna be. Hey, check it out though. I wanted to talk about something. If you're working on a large project in your shop and you have like an outfeed table to work with, instead of like busting your rear end trying to hulk the thing around, put wheels on it.
It was great.
I put wheels on the bottom of this trunk. Now it's not going with it. Well, I don't know yet. I might keep them, but not intending to send it with the wheels. But I was able to turn the piece, no problem. And I was like, I assembled the container or the trunk, and I put the wheels on it, and all of a sudden it starts rocking on the outfeed table. I was like, oh no. The wood moved on me, and it like went cattywampus. So now it rocks. I'm like, for a trunk that costs the customer over $1,000, it's gonna be, I'm probably gonna hear about this. So I was like, well, let me put it on the ground and see if it does the same thing. Nope, my outfeed table had a dip in it. I was like, I know, right? It was a dip where I don't know. It was a.
Why not dip? You dip. We dip.
Yeah, it's my fault. But anyway.
Hey, so real quick, I know you're about to pass to Josh, but I did forget something, and it's because when you got a million things going on in your brain, you're like, oh, I have all this stuff going on, and then someone shows up at your house with stuff to engrave / an airman's coin for somebody. Pretty excited because it's the OG coin, so it's the one that this person may or may not have graduated with, which is pretty awesome. But so I did get to do something. It's a first for me. I had someone reach out to test some stuff. Actually, other than Totalboat, of course, but Totalboat, we know they love sending us stuff, and we love testing their product.
That and PWN,
this one they reached.
You best not forget.
Well, of course not. Okay, but I'm saying that's for the Sawdust Nation podcast. But for Naps Naughty Works, I've never had anybody approach me to test anything. It just hasn't happened. But I did have Base Camp masks reach out to me. So I have this weird thing with masks. All right. Like if it's not comfortable on my face, I just don't want to wear it. And then there goes the whole health and safety aspect. So on the whole safety side of the house, right? So when you're spraying aerosols or doing things that are super dusty and you shouldn't be breathing that stuff in, you might want to wear a mask. Well, I told them I would test theirs out. So today I purposely did a bunch of very obscure tactics with sanding and spraying spray paints and all this stuff. I left my dust collection off purposely today. I know, weird, right? With the mask on. I actually had the mask on for about 4 hours this morning, just to wear it, see how comfortable it was, to see if I felt like I had to take it off. I didn't, in fact. It was actually probably one of the most comfortable masks I've worn. The nose is actually made out of like this flexible plastic instead of having like a metal bar in there that can be kind of like uncomfortable right on the bridge of your nose here. So I had that. I had 2 strap concept that goes on the back of like your ears, which it wasn't really that big of a deal, but I ended up putting up a back above my head here, a little bit more comfortable for me because, I have these really dopey ears and, they're pretty big. So, I mean, for the typical consumer, it's probably not a bad thing for them, but for me, big ears equals a little discomfort. But I sent them some feedback for that. And we're working on that stuff now. But I got to say, as far as the dust particulates and aerosol and all that stuff, not a single bit. Brett was breathing normal the entire time. I even had the miter box saw outside, and I went to go ahead and do a cut, and all that dust just flew right in my face. Just wasn't even thinking about it. Just blew right into the wind, and it came right back at me. But my breathing was fine. My eyes weren't. Probably should have been wearing goggles. That's my fault. But no, this mask is pretty good. So if you just happen to be looking for a mask to try out, or if you want to see something, take a look at Base Camp's masks. They're pretty awesome.
Or perhaps he's wondering why someone would shoot a man.
Oh, Bane! Over here with the mask.
You merely play in the dark. I was born in it.
Throwing him out of a plane, it would be extreme on the Mars.
I don't know what's going on.
But anyways, yeah. So that was my plug for Base Camp masks, because I did tell them I'd talk about it today because I got to test it out, and I just feel I'd share the good word. So yeah.
No one cared
So sorry, Josh.
no one cared who Nap was before he wore the mask. I'm just saying.
It's true. It's true. Because that mask covers all this ugliness, so then all you see is the eyes, just like we do nowadays with all this COVID stuff.
So if I pulled that mask off, would it be painful?
It would be.
For you.
But yeah, man. So, hey, listen, Josh, I know you got a lot of cool stuff coming up, which is why we're recording on a Monday. So for our listeners, we're actually recording a day early because Josh gets to do the one thing that Nick and I wish we could do. But, we're not as cool, I guess, these days. Daniel, we're calling you out. You took Josh. It's fine. You don't like us. But Josh, tell us about your Workbench Con endeavors you got coming up here.
He just knows what's the best one of us. That's all. Don't worry. No, it was just a luck of the draw. Hopefully next year all of us will be down there rocking it. But yes, so Wednesday I am actually flying out early in the morning to go down to Georgia and get ready for the big Workbench Con that's happening down there with Daniel. I got all these stickers. I got like 400 stickers for Sawdust Nation podcast. We're going to be handing out.
Hey, hold him up again. I want to see him.
Okay, so here they are.
Real fast. It's hard to see. Are they individually wrapped?
No.
That would be fun if they were. Here's a sticker for you in its own cellophane.
Here's a 3-inch thick sticker you can put on it.
Hey, you said you're going to hand them out? No, you're not going to hand them out. You're going to get one of those like t-shirt guns and pack it in the t-shirt gun and just freaking confetti Sawdust Nation.
The biggest group you can during a lecture or something, just walk away.
And people get hit in the face, just like Sawdust Nation podcast. Like, oh my god,
it's gonna be great. Just getting ready, trying to get everything packed and ready to go. But that kind of brings me into the shop a little bit because I'm trying to get everything that's due in February out because I'll be gone until the beginning of March almost. So, I've been trying to get, the projects that, are close to that due date basically out and to their clients as much as possible. I have some wiggle room, but we have a question.
Yeah. Hey, have you thought about getting those projects that are due before you leave or soon after done bone you actually leave to go to Workbench Con?
You know what? I have, and I'm actually currently working on that. I just got done with the frame that I mentioned before, with a little confusion with that one, but finally got it out the door. And I will say, you have to clean your paint guns, paint sprayers, because if you do not clean them, they will not work as advertised. I took the time to go through both of them, and I cleaned out, from every little part I could. I soaked, cleaned them out, scrubbed them, and then I actually filled them up with hot water, and I sprayed it through the nozzle once they're all together. And once that was all dry, I went ahead and put some brand new Totalboat Halcyon clear in there, gloss, and then the other one I put in some white paint. And I finished up the painting and then the coats, and it turned out great. I did a little bit, some techniques that I'm trying to try out. It was a great project to do it. And basically I used plywood for it, and looking at it, you could not tell there was plywood put together. It was end to end, so it wasn't like any fancy joinery or nothing crazy. I did use biscuits just to kind of line them up and kind of keep them straight when I'm putting it together. It wasn't a very hard project. It took me some time because of the wind. We've been having some crazy windstorms down here, and there's been days where I try to go paint or finish something outside, and you could see the spray and it just goes past the piece, not even hitting the piece, and you're about an inch away. And you're just wasting stuff at that point. So it took a couple of days for that to kind of settle down and let me get out there. But it was just warm enough, and the wind died down just enough for me to finish it. So very grateful I got that done.
So, hey, Josh, so I know you have your tent that you take outside and stuff. Did you try to put sides on your tent by chance?
Well,
do that?
Yeah, I have actually a home right pop-up tent that works great usually, right? But it's so windy, and my neighbors love it when I do it. You try to put that up in the wind, and A, you look like a fool because you're trying to hold it down, and B, it doesn't hold well because the wind gusts were crazy the last couple of days because of all the, storms moving in and out. We've been having like 60-degree weather and then at night, like in the teens, and then it'll be like 30 degrees and then 60. So with all that, temperature increase and decrease, you get some crazy gnarly winds. And that kind of put a hamper on a couple different things, but I finally got it knocked out. I actually posted on SAWDUST Nation podcast page about it. And, for such a simple project, I was pretty proud how it came out. It was pretty seamless. So moving on, the hammers, I was using some of that new walnut that I got from New Jersey Wood Forever. And I just want to ask you guys out there, how do you bake your wood? Because I baked my walnut blanks in the actual oven.
Space, like what?
I could only get down the stove to like 170, and I did it for like 6 hours. I knew there was going to be some checking because you're basically, you're forcing that moisture out the end. So I actually painted some ends of other blanks, and I'm hoping that's going to help take the moisture out the sides versus the ends and reduce the checking. It's something I don't really want to do, but it's definitely something that, I have a whole bunch of I have like 20 blanks now, and they need to dry out, and the orders are not slowing down. So there's a couple different methods. There's the stove method that I'm going to try like half of them on in different ways. And then there's going to be another, I'm going to build a small kiln to go out in the shop. It's going to be basically a music box with a couple holes on top, maybe 1/2-inch holes, and then put a space heater in the back and have it feed in there. And that has been proven to work fairly well. So that's, once I clean up the shop enough, I have a little bit of room to put this mechanism, a little kiln. I'm going to actually put it in there and start trying some small, slabs and stuff like that. It's not going to be too big, so I can't be too crazy, but it'll be definitely nice to have. I have a wood turner on base here that could use it too, so I might rent out some room to him when I can. But yeah, so I got that going. Also went to Home Depot today, and I picked up a 42-inch toolbox, Husky toolbox, and a 26-inch toolbox, Husky toolbox from them too. And basically what I'm doing is one of my benches in the shop has two different sanding tools on there. I have the belt sander that's on there, and also the what's it called? It's the rigid oscillating sander. And I'm going to put those on each toolbox, and then that's going to be easier for me to, manipulate in the shop and whatnot. And the bigger toolbox I got is going at the edge of the table saw for outfeed table. Honestly, it's already proven its worth. I'm starting to empty out some of the benches I made and stuff and put it away in these toolboxes. And not only is it going to cause more space in the shop, I'm going to have more storage, which means less mess. These last couple of weeks, this last month or two has been ridiculously messy in the shop. My own fault, but I've been getting more and more stuff, and I don't really have a place for it that's dedicated. So now that I have that, I'm hoping to keep it cleaner, which allows my mental health in the shop to actually be better. So
real quick, which models were they? The Husky? Were they the matte black ones or what?
Yeah, the matte black ones with the chrome handles, bars.
How long are they?
The one is 42 inches, and then the other one is 26.
Okay.
So one's like a 4 or 5 drawer, and the other one is I think it's like a 9 drawer, something close to that.
So have you already registered online at Home Depot for your veterans discount?
I did, and I got 10% off each item.
So I went to, fun fact, I went to 2 different Home Depots in the same day. I'm not registered online for Home Depot yet. I am for Lowe's, but not Home Depot. But one was like, "No, that's cool, man. We'll just, we'll scan we'll see your military ID, and we'll give you the discount."
Yeah.
The other one, the dude was like, "No, it's got to be online." I was like, "Well, okay," but the other place said it was cool. I don't know what to tell you, man. It either is or it isn't, but whatever.
I say, well, it's crazy, right? So Home Depot has been kind of becoming the norm now. So fun fact too. So Botan box stores, real quick. Lowe's. I don't know what happened with Lowe's, but they discontinued a bunch of hardware. is gone. So some of the stuff that I needed to do some of my projects is gone.
Yep.
And I can't find it. I don't know what they're doing, but stop it.
Honestly,
because I'm missing hardware now.
I agree with you 100%. I have been going to Lowe's for years. Like, I go to Home Depot every once in a while because they'll have a sale or something in particular I'm looking for. But to be honest with you, I'm starting to lean more toward the Home Depot side of things just because the prices seem to be better. There's more options for stuff. I mean, like, for the exact same toolbox, this different brand in Lowe's was like $100 more. And it didn't make any sense because honestly, it looks like they could take the logo and they post it on the same thing. You know what I'm saying? There's not much difference.
Oh, I gotta say, remember that night? I was over at Nap's house getting some stuff lasered because like I just explained, I screwed myself out of the ability to by building that lid too big. So I was like, Nap, I need to go to Home Depot, and he's like, well, just go while you're here so you're not wasting time, because my son was with me. He's like, he's just playing with my boy. We're good. Just run and come back. So I looked around Home Depot. They did not have the same hardware. And the next day I had to go to Lowe's, and I was like, son of a gun. I didn't get this hardware at Home Depot. It was like screws. It were flathead screws. There were button heads.
Yeah, at Lowe's.
There were brass. And I was like, son of a gun, I'm the dummy, Like,
you would think at some point in time, like, I understand they're competing box stores, but some standardization would be nice. Just like,
you can't do that. That makes it too easy.
I know, like, come on.
Like, let's put it this way. I don't know if you knew this or not, but 8-foot studs, like the 2x4s at Home Depot, are closer to 8 foot than Lowe's.
Yeah, you got to use an 8-foot stud, and it's like 7 foot 9 inches. You're like, what?
Or it's like 7 foot. So I used to make cornhole boards, and it was like, are you kidding me?
Drive you absolutely nuts. That's why. I think he goes to a different place now, but AJ used to go to Home Depot to get his stuff all the time. But regardless, yeah. So I'm cleaning up the shop. That's basically what it comes down to. And hopefully it's going to generate some more space because it's been driving me nuts. I go in there and it's just, when it's dirty, I don't operate nearly as enough. And I've been spending a lot of time looking for tools. Like I literally so messy, like I'll throw something down or put something down and it disappears. And time is money, as Nat is showing you there. But
so that's what you're saying is
time is money. Yeah.
No, it was a steering wheel belt buckle because it was driving you nuts, or driving me nuts.
Oh man.
But yeah, I mean, trying to get a bunch of stuff done, getting prepped for Workbench Con. Pretty stoked about that. I can't wait, man. I can't wait to get on the plane and start getting down there, get set up. I can't wait for it to start.
So question, Josh. So you are preparing for this, right? So you've got your stickers, you got all this stuff. For our listeners, like, what's the game plan, man? I mean, we never thought this was going to happen this year, anyways. It just kind of was like, hey, Josh, you're going. And it's like, okay, like, what is your plan, man? I mean, you got all these booths, all these makers. Like, you were talking about how there's makers that are going to be there that helped you, like, get started. I mean, like, what's the game plan going in on this thing if you have one?
Well, I kind of do. First of all, I'm going down there with Daniel, so we're going to be kind of like working together and making sure that we can spread the word of PWN CNC and Sawdust Nation podcast.
Are you going to wear tuxedos?
We thought about it, but then we realized the rental was too much, and we just didn't. So we got tuxedo shirts. No, but yeah, so basically we're going down, we're going to strike up some conversations. Avid CNC's down there. Daniel doesn't carry currently anything for Avid, so he's going to take a look at their CNCs and just kind of see what he wants to do with that. And then we're going to look for our place there because eventually the goal is to have a booth for PWN CNC in the Sawdust Nation podcast. It be either 2 booths or just one combined, hopefully one combined. And, that way people can come to us and ask us questions. But this is kind of feeling out the field, if you will. I'm going to try to make, people aware of the Sawdust Nation podcast if they're not already. Maybe that's what the stickers and some of the fun goodies are kind of come into place. It's just going to be one of those things where there's going to be a lot happening. I mean, that entire time they have lectures booked. They have events. They got a meet and greet the first day. There's a lot going on, and we're going to try to do it all if we can. I'm hoping to learn some great stuff down there. I know in the past people have said it's great for the business side of things and for like the social media aspect. So I'm hoping to go ahead and, take some stuff back for us here to, increase our presence on social media and kind of, build the podcast better. That's always been the goal, to get the podcast out there, let it grow. But, more information is always better. So hopefully become wiser and we, can increase our reach a little bit.
Speaking of being wise, business and things, I finally did it, guys. I finally did it. I have an Etsy account and I have a page. It's finally there. I've only got 3 items. It's not like it's a big deal or anything. Kind of a big deal now because I got an Etsy. But
took you a long one?
But no. I'm going to tell you what, man. It took me a while, yes. And to be honest, the only stopping factor was myself. And it's because I was just too lazy to go find the numbers I needed to put in there to like my EIN and stuff like that. But I got it all figured out, got it all posted. I'm not expecting to make like a killing right out the gate, but at the same time, an order or 2 would be nice.
Nick and I ordered a piece for you.
Yeah, right. But I put the basic stuff on. The one thing I am worried about for now is just not putting too much up. I'm putting stuff up that I can get out quick for people. I put the 1 to 2 week lead time, but that's just because if I've got other jobs, I got to fit it in there. I took a page out of Nick's book for that one just because I know like when he gets busy and he's got jobs coming in from Etsy, like that kind of covers you a little bit. Like, hey, it says 1 to 2 weeks. So if you don't get it like in the next 5 days, it's because I've got other stuff going on. But I'm making sure I put stuff up there that I know I can turn out, that'll still be quality, and things hopefully people want. I'm not really sure if it's what people want. I've got like laserable mug up there right now, a carved flag, and what was the other thing I had up there? Coin racks. Those are like the simple things, but I'll tell you one thing that's really, really discouraging is when you go look at like your competition, if you will. I know it's community competition, but when you look over Etsy, you're still competing with the folks on Etsy. I just see so much stuff up and it's so cheap. And I'm looking at I'm like, you're killing me, Smalls. Like, how am I supposed to sell what I want to sell? You're putting stuff like that out. That's so much cheaper.
It's the materials, man. That's what it comes down to. I get people all the time going in Etsy, sending me a screenshot, be like, how much? And I'm like, probably triple what you see. Because I'm not going to use a particle board, or plywood or whatever has been used, cardboard sometimes, I wonder, like, I'm not going to go ahead.
Dude, just get the sanded plywood,
1/8-inch plywood that people use for Glowforge to build something that's supposed to hold all your valuables. You know what I'm saying? I've been very lucky. The vast majority of my clients that come to me for stuff like that, they already know. They expect the price. And I forewarn them, and they're like, yeah, we want quality. We just want the kind of design. So that hopefully that's the same with you and how, that turns out. But don't be scared to put your prices up there, man. You work hard for it. You might as well just put yourself out there.
Well, hopefully going up to North Dakota, that'll get me some traction because that's pretty much what it's going to be, at least for the first month or 2, because like I said, North Dakota is like real blue collar state, or at least a city Minot is. And they said like a lot of it's handmade stuff. People are a lot of shops out there. So I don't know. We'll see.
Are you so when you get there, you're gonna have to change your LLC to North Dakota.
So I thought about that, and all I have to do is register as a foreign entity. So essentially I'd go to North Dakota. I would still retain Texas as my place of business. But when I go there, it'll be, hey, I have an LLC, but it's in the state of Texas, and it'll just be registered foreign. And then I don't know how taxes work with that quite yet, so I'm still doing my research on that. I'll probably have more about that later on.
It's going to be good research for all of us because, honestly, we're all going to end up moving at some point in time, right? So, unfortunately, you're the tip of the spear in this.
Guinea pig?
Yeah, so anything that you learn, we got to share because I guarantee there's other people military members or even just people moving different states that have established. So I can't wait to hear what you got, man.
Yeah, and the wife's already, listen, my wife is like the house bandit. Like, she's already looking. Like, so we thought we were going to go to Ellsworth. We thought we were going to go, up North Texas. We thought she was finding houses. Well, as soon as I told her we were going there, she was just like, are you kidding me? Like, she was legit, like, visibly mad. Because I was like, I don't know what to tell you. Like, the military sent you, where are they going to send you? So she's already sent me like 7 houses, all of which have shops. So the best part about this is when the wife's on the side of having a shop, it's always a win. So we'll have an actual garage and an actual shop, hopefully. So, heck, there's one out there with a 30 by 40 shop. However, the house was built in like 1970 something.
The shop is good.
I'm a little wary there. Well, okay, when the house has the wood panels, okay, like I'm talking like wood paneling on the walls, okay, like shiplap. All right. All I'm thinking is 70s, okay? 70s porn stash, all those things. So, but yeah. I like Nick over there. Look at that beautiful mustache.
It's my
That's a good one. I like that. That was good. But yeah, so I don't know, man. I'm indifferent right now.
Sure you are.
Yeah. Next thing you're going to find out, Naps Naughty Works is no longer a woodworking company.
Naps Naughty Works Entertainment.
Prestige worldwide.
Why?
Oh, man. But yeah.
Naps Naughty Works LLC. Knock before you enter.
Knock before you enter. That's awesome. I wanted to talk about finishing. So that being said, this is my first experience I've had this week with the Rubio.
Oh yeah, you were telling me about Rubio Monaco.
That's
man.
Right. And it's definitely a pleasant experience. I highly recommend you guys give it a shot. I love Odie's. Don't get me wrong. I'm not like jumping off the Odie's.
It's
train.
a totally different finish than Odie's.
It's not even like a liquid. It's like a goop. It's like wax and polish. I don't know, man. I even put it even comes with like fast dryer, like stuff you can mix with it that makes it dry faster. It's expensive though.
Give it a try.
It's not cheap. I'll tell you that. It is not cheap. But
superior finishes are going to cost money. So
what made you go that road?
I wanted to give it a shot.
Oh, so it's just an excuse to give it a go?
Well, and it had that fast drying though.
That and I was having, so it's not that much more expensive for the small one. It's a container.
Yeah.
Like the same size as the Odie's.
How much was it? Like 40?
So it's 52. It's like 50. It was $55 where I got it at Woodcraft, but it's $52.99 on Amazon.
Okay.
I don't know, man. I'm seriously thinking about like spreading out not just doing everything at Odie's now, because I love Odie's, but after a while, Odie's, I don't know about Rubio though, if it dries out after a while or if it gets if it loses its luster, but we'll see.
What'd you do a test? This
is the test.
Well, I mean, like on a scrap piece of wood where you could see it, not the customer.
Well, they'll let me know.
Well, so at the end of the day, though, I think we talked about this a while back when I was doing the whole Danish oil thing. Every finish has its place.
Yes.
And I think you spreading your wings to test out that Rubio on this trunk or chest you made, it kind of opened your eyes like, oh yeah, I could probably use this for other applications, but now it's just a matter of what.
So you can get 3.5 liters of it for $420.
Yeah, no. I mean, I've been doing some collab work with another maker, and he has a large shop, and he sprays some very, very harsh finishes in his shop because he has the room and he has it set up where he can. And like, I can't even begin to tell you some of the stuff he sprays because he brings it up and it's stuff I haven't heard of, but it's like his products are turning out great. But you need room for some of this stuff, and you need a ventilation, and you need like a spray booth and certain different sprayers and stuff like that. And like, we don't have the operation quite yet to, do that. So like most of the people, hopefully that listens to this podcast, I mean, like we've grown when it comes to finishing. Okay. Between poly, Odie's, Loris Oil, Halcyon. I mean, like we're going through them as, we go, and we're finding the places for them. There's things I'll always use Odie's on. There's things I'm going to use a more penetrating oil on. There's, poly. I mean, we're always going to have places for the stuff we use. We're just going to be having a wider knowledge of where and how to use it on which project.
I like the deeper penetrating oils.
We know.
So that's the one thing too, considering the shop in North Dakota, whenever I get it, I'm looking for room because I do want to have like a corner that I can set up like a spray booth.
No, absolutely not. Go get a shed from like Home Depot or Lowe's, one of those small sheds, like $500 or so. Throw it outside, put a small heater in there, put a little electrical, and then make it your spray booth. Put stuff in there, spray it in there. You don't have to worry about it being in the shop. You don't have to worry about it, getting dust or whatever in there. And it's going to do you better doing that than setting up a little spray booth in your shop that is going to cause issues. Especially when you're going up there, you're going to get land with whatever house you get. Like more than likely, you're going to get some land.
Yeah, I think 4,000 square feet is pretty much most of them and up. So
I definitely would go that route.
Heck, there was one house with like 10 acres. I was like, how do I even take care of that?
But I'm telling you, man, like I would definitely do that because think about it. You free up your shop to do whatever you need to do in there. And then you can go into that spray booth and you can keep all your finishes in there, especially if you keep it heated in the winters and whatnot. You could put a pellet stove in there, or I guess you don't want to put a open flame. I don't know.
No, it's because for certain finishes, they're kind of highly flammable.
You just throw your rags throw your dirty rags in there when you're done.
Yeah. It goes really good for like 10 minutes.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden, I like Channel 4 News. Here in North Dakota, we have a huge wildfire. Something happened in this guy's shop. It's just a blaze.
You could do it safely, and I you know what? I almost if I was on my own property and I had land, that would be exactly what I'd do. Big enough for you could spray a table comfortably in there and just call it a day, dude.
So I would do that, man. But here's the deterring factor. Had I moved to North Texas or somewhere in Arizona, or, I probably would buy a house and that's where I would stay. But I'm not staying there. Honestly, as soon as I make rank, I'm finding a new place. Like if I could be there for 2 years, I'm going to be there for 2 years type deal. Just because I don't want to stay there.
You could, yeah, but
just to be
the house will come with a shed at that point in time. You know what I'm saying? The tool shed. And that's a selling point.
I guess we'll see what happens.
Do it.
We'll see what happens. I'll definitely take it into consideration.
Do it now.
He's harnessing his inner Nick right now, trying to make me buy stuff already before I even get there.
Do it now.
No, so I'm just letting you know that all the spray paint that he's like half spraying bottles. I'm taking those. Everything he's not taking.
He came a snooping, right? He came a snooping, and he's like, glue much? And then we start talking about like what I'm going to do with some of this stuff. He's like, dude, I'll just take it. I'm like, you probably.
And then he's going to sell it and make a profit.
No, I'd probably use it.
No, I've got a bunch of colors that he'll need actually, especially coming up with one of his big projects. Towards they're those boards for the MTIs or whatever. Which, now that I'm not leaving, I'm kind of like, but I'm going to give him all the colors.
There's so many colors of the rainbow. All I wanted to talk about was finishing. What do you guys have? Any subjects you want to? We got a few minutes left. You want to hit on something?
I mean, realistically, man, besides defaulting to the old laser and CNC, and I'm sorry, listeners, I know I said defaulting because that's the one thing we do a lot of as far as like work in our shops. But really right now, I'm like in limbo right now, boys. Like, I'm just trying to figure out what I want to do when I grow up.
I'll talk about the business side of things and how it's going for myself. It's a weird feeling. I was talking to Nap earlier, right? So I bought this stuff today, and like having everything as separated as it is it's nice. Like I'm tracking my money left and right using QuickBooks. Figured some stuff out with that this last week.
That was
Well, you learned some stuff too, didn't you?
It did.
Honestly, it's nice. Like, I know where my money's going. I know how much I could spend safely. And I had an idea when I was doing it out of one account that wasn't a business account, but now I kind of have to. I'm very accountable for what I spend and whatnot. One of the reasons I went and got these toolboxes is because of the fact of I'm trying to increase my production and like my time in the shop, because now for some reason it feels like it's changed. It's gone from, like, in my mind, a hobby to a legit business. And when I'm out there, I want to make sure, I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing versus, there have been times I've been out there and, I got jobs and stuff I'm working on, but then I'll be like, ooh, side project. And I go do that. Even today, I was looking for a tape measure to make a quick reference for a length I was looking for. And I'm like, I couldn't find it. I'm like, this is stupid. I have like 4 tape measures in 11 by 20, 22, 20 shop, and I can't find one. This needs to change, okay? Because I spent like 5 minutes looking for the tape measure. I was fed up, and we've talked about having the shop being clean, and I've been having other makers in my shop, and it's been a disaster. And every time they come in, I'm like, don't trip on the cord. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, don't trip, bust your head on something. I got a bunch of stuff going on in here.
It's been a mess, and I'm kind of picking up and reorganizing and becoming an LLC has helped me, just kind of sit down and think about what I really want, because it's always been in my mind I wanted to do this, but it was never a reality, and now it's a reality. I'm definitely taking the time to think logically about what would make everything better, and these toolboxes, I keep going back to them because they're not just for my organization. So, everyone that listens to the podcast, we're all military. I will be moving within the year. I will. Like, it's going to happen. If it doesn't happen, don't know yet. No.
He's coming up to me.
Yeah, watch that happen. I've already been to South Dakota. I don't want to see North Dakota. But long story short there, these toolboxes, I can literally leave my stuff in there, lock them up, and roll them onto a U-Haul. Before, I had these benches that, like, they had drawers and stuff, and they weren't lockable, and I would have to, like, strap them down. And it's definitely a game changer, because I'm thinking about long-term versus the short-term and just making it work. And if you have a shop where you're working out of and this is still a hobby for you and you own the home, I would always think of that too. Look at what you have.
Part of the reason why I bought mine.
Yeah. I mean, like, you guys kind of inspired me to do it. Never really thought of it. Actually, I was early in the podcast, I was a big opponent of just throwing something together and just kind of making it work and then changing as I went. But yeah, it's definitely helps, to keep things clean and organized. And I can't wait to, go in there, put everything away and, get it organized. But I'll leave that alone. The business side of things is definitely going well, and I'm happy I did it. So I'm not gonna preach too much more on that.
All hail Reverend Josh preaching about the shop. Those toolboxes in the business.
Dude, I'm just, it's super exciting stuff. Like, it sounds stupid and I keep talking about it, but like, it was different. It was a different feel altogether.
If you, like, next week when you're at Workbench Con, if you see April Wilkerson, tell her to check her Instagram, because we sent her a DM like months ago.
Okay, will do.
From the podcast.
Oh, and I did want to bring this up here. I did it in stories too, but if anyone listening is going to be at Workbench Con, hit me up. I'd like to get together. I'd like to talk, see what you guys are up to. Tell us how about the podcast. Meet Daniel from PWNC&C. That's the whole.
See Voltner up there.
Yeah, he's going to be up there. Get him in person. The Maker Community Project is going to be there in force, I believe. So, yeah, it's going to be great. We're doing lives and stories, and yeah, I'm probably going to break Instagram with the amount of stuff I'm going to be posting about. So,
you better break it.
Yeah. So,
but yeah, I think that's all we got to say about that.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. Let's hit those sponsors. What do you say there, Nap?
Hey, Nick. Hey, well, let's go and pass that back on to you. But hey, we'd like to thank our sponsors. Daniel over there, PWNC&C, bringing us the spindle experience, as Nick would call it. and all those awesome gadgets that he has, along with all of his dust boots and whatnot. So if you feel so inclined, go ahead and visit his site at www.pwncnc.com. And if you want 5% off, use promo code SAWDUSTNATION981. We also want to thank Totalboat. They're awesome with their Halcyon and their epoxy, as well as their other varnishes and whatnot that they provide. If you want a promo code for that, just go and slide into our DMs. And finally, our Patreons. Without you guys, a lot of this isn't possible. We can't do a lot of the cool stuff that we do. And Nick, I'm sorry, but I took your job. Do you have anything else to add to that?
You took our jobs!
I was wondering when this time was going to come. Anyways, so Nick, I'm going to throw it on over to you.
Yeah, so if you're listening to us on the Apple Podcast, go ahead and give us 5 stars. There's no other rating. If we're not saying stuff that you want us to say, go ahead and tell us what you want us to say, and we'll say that stuff. Now, if you want us to talk about some things that we're not talking about, or if you want to hear about a specific subject or genre of the making community, go ahead and let us know. Because how are we going to know? We're not psychic.
But our wives think we are.
They really do.
Oh my goodness. It's not even funny. That's like, you know what I meant. No, I didn't know what you mean. And that's why I'm in trouble. Anyway, I'm going to kick it on over to Josh now. If you want to be able to get a hold of us, go ahead and Josh, tell him how to get a hold of us.
If you want to get a hold of us, go ahead and reach us on Instagram. You can reach all 3 of us at Sawdust Nation Podcast. And, you never know what you're going to get or who's going to answer, but it's like rolling the dice. You never know. And then you can get a hold of Nap from Nap Study Works, LLC. He can answer any question you have or try to. And then Nick from MPG Creations will hit you up and probably say something you'll never forget, especially with that mustache. Just don't send any pictures because he might be inclined to send one back, and then you're in real trouble. And then myself, Josh from North Country Woodworking. I'll try to answer any questions you have. We could talk shop or talk about whatever you want. Just keep it clean. And if you want to reach us an email, go ahead and reach us at sawdustnationpodcast@gmail.com and send us any topic ideas or anything you want us to go see or check out Workbench Con. They're seeing the page. We'd love to hear what you guys have to say. And yeah, that's about it. So final words.
Yeah. So just like always. No, but for real. So we talk about a lot of stuff on this podcast. We're all about community over here. If you need help with anything, you can always hit any of us up. But that also goes for you all, because once you make a withdrawal from the knowledge bank, you want to go ahead and pass that forward. And don't hoard that knowledge, because people will eventually reach out to you. And that's what makes this community strong. So take care of each other, folks. Nick.
Yeah, so go ahead and turn us on in the morning. Listen to us while you're getting ready for work. Go ahead and turn us on in the afternoon while you're in that shop making sawdust. And, go ahead and turn us on those intimate times with family members, because I'm sure they'd love to hear us too. But until then, go make some sawdust. Sawdust Nation out.
Josh is baffled by what just happened just now.
What am I supposed to say?
Okay, so what you're going to do is say what you would say, but then put him after you. So just edit that.
No, we'll let him take that one. So I'm really excited about Workbench Con. I'm going to go ahead and make sawdust with a whole bunch of Instagram, and we're going to learn a whole bunch of stuff. Make sure you're following our journey down there. Me and Daniel from PWNCNC. I'll be representing Sawdust Nation Podcast. Just follow us, our journey. Ask us questions. If you want to go see a different booth, let me know. I will start a live, or I'll do a story at that booth, so you guys can experience this too. Those tickets are way expensive, so let's do Workbench Con together as a community, right? So everyone has access. And with that, I'll be making sawdust where I can make sawdust next week, but you can always go in your shop and make it. Let us know what you're doing. Hashtag SDN pod or hashtag SDN podcast, so we can go check that out, and then we can post it up on our Instagram account to get some love your way. With that, go make some sawdust, and Sawdust Nation out.
Yeah, you should have just done my outro.
Yeah, I don't want to pick anyone else. No, or hump someone's
take care
leg.
of yourselves and each other. You know where I got that right?
No,
Jerry Springer. That's his final thought.
I always wondered why you always said that.
I thought he was being nice, but I guess not.
Now,
Jerry.